CNBC-TV18 presents the Genesis Gujarat.
Hello and welcome to CNBC-TV18 presents the Genesis Gujarat in association with Barn Labs. I'm your host Gautam Srinivasan, and today we delve into the incredible 58-year plus journey of a brand called Barn Labs, and from understanding its innovation, its expansion, to, well, investing in the future and where things are headed next. We have a wide-ranging conversation lined up for you to understand what drives this brand of companies, which has diversified presence in over 10 verticals forward. To explain the ins and outs of this growth story, I am joined by Jay and Love Ukani, who are directors at Barn Labs. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for this conversation.
Thanks, it's our pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, let's start things off by understanding the Barn Group story. As I mentioned, 10 verticals. It's been quite an extensive journey. So, Love, I'll come to you first and understand, with this wide-ranging presence, and I think you are spread across everything from Ayurvedic products to innerwear and a whole lot of consumer goods stories which are there. What are the benefits and what are the challenges of managing this wide-ranging enterprise? And also, how do you create the right culture under each vertical, which harmonizes with the rest of the group's business?
Being in diverse sectors come with its own challenges and opportunities. Our main thought being into different sectors was to de-risk ourselves, and it was a risk leveraging strategy. In current economic situation, not all sectors perform identically at all times. So we thought to come up our presence in different sectors and deleverage ourselves.
All right, so let's look at the journey from, I think, starting with Ayurvedic medicine to where you are. Take us through how these verticals have grown.
Just to start with, this business was started by our grandfather, Dr. Dayabai Patel, 58 years back. So we initially started with Ayurvedic medicine. We were doing Ayurvedic prescription medicine business. With times changing, sectors changing, we thought to change ourselves. We tried different strategies, and we tried different strategies to move Ayurvedic product into the over-the-counter space. And we were successful into it, and we thought to diversify from henceforth.
You're in fragrances and I believe teas as well. And I think you also have B2B, B2C connections, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
right?
We are present into different distribution channels. We are present into general trade. We are present into pharma trade. We are present into online marketing. So even exports. So we are present into both B2B and B2B space. In B2B space, we are present into general trade, into over-the-counter and pharma segment. And in D2C, we are also into D2C. We have our own distribution channel online. We are also present through different marketplaces as well.
All right. Jay, anything to add from the company perspective? I think you are the third generation, right? So how does it feel being a sort of third generation leader in this business?
It feels like a history, and it feels like my grandfather started with a very small space in Rajkot with the name of Bharatiya Aushadh Nirman Shala. So that's why the short form came as Barn Labs. So it was all started with a very small space. My grandfather, my aunts, they all were engaged into the business.
It is a true family business, is it?
Yeah.
All right. Love, coming back to you on that question of having the right culture across these very different 10 verticals that you have. What are you doing to make sure everything fits?
The core thing what we do is to bring the sense of ownership within the team leaders. हमारे यहाँ पे थर्ड जनरेशन, सेकेंड जनरेशन, थर्ड जनरेशन ऐसे भी होंगे जो लेगेसी कंटिन्यू करती आई है. सो वी हैव पीपल वर्किंग अक्रॉस जनरेशन विथ अस. सो वी ट्राई टू एम्पावर देम. वी try that the core values of the company, which is innovation, giving back to the society, and integrity remains intact.
All right. Now, that brings me to my next question, Love, because a lot of business expansion has happened since the first generation started this business, right? Now, the question is, what has been the biggest change in the way that this conglomerate operates then versus now? And to the point that you mentioned about some core values, how do you retain your core values? Because ये एक तरीके से एक evolution हो रहा है, तो थोड़े चीज़ें same रहेंगी और थोड़ी चीज़ें different हो जाएंगी. तो ये पहले आप ये बताइए कि different क्या है और फिर same क्या है?
Kadam, you know, each generation brings in its own agility and perspective in the business. The way my grandfather initiated the business, he ran the business. The way my father and my uncle ran the business is completely different from our perspective. This is the age of technology. So we, as the third generation, we try to incorporate more of technology into the business. I would just give you an example. Initially, when we joined, all processes were manually. We tried to incorporate enterprise resource planning into it. And we also use data to drive sales and new products in the market.
And in terms of core values which remain the same from the first generation to third generation, what would you say are the core values?
As I said in my last answer, that we try to bring sense of ownership in the leadership team, and that should align with the core fundamentals of the company. That's all we try to ensure. So that's how the legacy is keeping going on.
Legacy is an important word for any family business. So Jay, let me come to you and ask, when planning the legacy of the Barn Group, 3 generations now that has come about, the question is, what are the most important consideration? Because every family-based business has a different consideration as to how the legacy, what is the legacy they want to leave behind. So the question I have for you is, what kind of mark does this group want to leave for India?
The legacy is all about giving back to the society, right? My grandfather, my father, my uncle always told us that Barn Labs, what it is today, is all because of the society and God, right? Without society, without God, there's nothing. So that legacy is always, we are keeping on continuing that legacy. Me and my brother is always about giving back something to the society, whatever we can. And it's all about empowering the society. And we always believe in a philosophy of giving something back with the mantra of Nahatvam Kamaye, Na Rajyam, Na Swargam, Na Punarbhavam.
What does that mean?
It states that we never crave for any kingdom. We never crave for any such royal things. We never crave for any such things. We only crave for making something better for the society, giving something back to the society, and uplifting the society.
As a third generation founder, how do you respond to that thought? Because some might say, "Arey, ये तो थोड़ा पुराना ख्यालात है, अभी आजकल तो competition इतना बड़ा है. Today is such a hyper competitive atmosphere. How can we, think of doing this?" As a third generation leader, what do you think about that philosophy which you have just stated?
I think that's what sets us apart from all other conglomerates in India. That's what Barn Labs is for. And that is how we think that Barn Labs would be something.
Is that how you're seeing that? It's because of that spirit of giving back.
Yeah.
That's why the business has grown over 58 years, because your consumers then repay that trust with their trust and say, we'll buy a product which gives back to us.
Of course, that's right. It's kind of building trust towards our audience. It's kind of building trust towards the audience of India. And we believe that whole India is our parivar.
भारत के परिवार के लिए भारत की जागरूकता and of course development के लिए. That's where it's good that conglomerates also think like this, because at the end of the day they are also your consumers. So if they grow, you grow as a business. In terms of enriching local communities, if you can state some initiatives that the Barn Group is doing, and how are you developing local industrial champions?
We have always been developing the community, making some programs for them wherein they can develop their skills, etc., etc. And recently we launched a program which aligns with Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji's vision for Bharat. That is called Atmanirbhar Bharat, right? He always states. The scheme is called Pavitra Swarojgar Kendra, wherein what we do is like we provide the products for daily needs, like shampoos or etc. Stationery products, clothing products, etc. At a very low margin, at a very low cost, so that they can get a very good margin on the products once sold. So we make entrepreneurs all across India.
As we look to wrap up the first segment, what's the message of the group? I mean, this is just a question I'm going to ask both of you. How do you view this journey of over 58 years as yourself, as leaders? How do you view this journey as to how it's evolved? Maybe we will have some words from you, and then Jay can take it over from there.
This journey has been fantastic, Gautam. We have learned a lot from the other generations, and the only intention for us is to carry that legacy that they have created, to carry forward, and maybe in future even cultivate that with the fourth generation as well.
All right, Jay, kahin pressure aata hai? Because at the end of the day, as in life or as in sports or whatever, there is always this pressure, right? Hamare aage jo gaye hain, you always want to match up to their standards. So what do you think about that?
Pressure is always about मैचिंग का कोई प्रेशर नहीं है. प्रेशर बस इसी का है कि इंडिया को कैसे आगे बढ़ाया जाए हमारे बान लैब्स के द्वारा. सो दैट्स द प्रेशर.
So you are razor focused on the purpose.
पॉजिटिव प्रेशर है.
Positive pressure, and at the end of the day, that's what we want to see, where it's these growth stories that emerge from the heart of India with that purpose of developing India. एक विकसित भारत बनाने में जो effort लगेगा, maybe that pressure helps in making that story go forward. Well, we have lots to discuss. We have to understand how the company itself, the group, is going to shape its future. We've understood about its past. Let's see how the future is going to shape up. But we'll take a short break. Do join us on the other side.
CNBC-TV18 presents The Genesis Gujarat. CNBC-TV18 presents The Genesis Gujarat.
Welcome back to CNBC-TV18 presents The Genesis Gujarat in association with Ban Labs. We are in conversation with Jay and Love Ukani to understand the Ban Group, the Ban Labs story, its evolution, and of course its impact. So let's dive right back into the conversation. And Love, let me bring you in first as to understanding what are the future opportunities, because 58 years, as we mentioned, 10 verticals, you've expanded so much. But the question is, aage kya hai? What's the story ahead? And as you move ahead, what are the challenges that you see, encountering?
Actually, the world is evolving. हमारे लिए तो अभी world पूरा खाली है. So the main opportunity for us is to expand.
From a global perspective, how many countries are you in, and what are the key markets, and what are people buying?
We are just reaching 40 to 45 countries, mainly into Africa and CIS.
Okay.
The rest of the world is actually void for us, so that brings in a lot of opportunity.
Africa is a
for
core
us.
market for you. So in Africa, what are the key products that you look to sell?
We mainly focus into skincare and perfumes as of now, but we are also looking to diversify into hygiene segment, into Nutra, into stationaries and all. So that's a huge opportunity.
So
for
which
us.
is the biggest growth market between Nutra and stationery and all these categories that you mentioned? Biggest growth market kaun sa hai?
Biggest growth market I would say would be Nutra and the scope for Ayurvedic products. This government has been promoting the holistic Indian medicine in a huge way. So अभी दूसरे countries तक जो ये knowledge पहुंचा नहीं था वो अभी पहुंच रहा है, and awareness आ रही है. So that creates a lot of opportunity for us.
And how are these consumers different from, say, Indian consumers? You said your Africa, CIS states, these are your two major export markets. Any sense of how these consumers there are different from, say, Indian consumers? Matlab, do you have to price it even lower? From a margin perspective, is it even more lower?
Yes, every market has its own need. African market has its own need. वहाँ पे price sensitive customers है, तो उस हिसाब से products we have to position our product portfolio in a way that is Africa specific.
And how is the competition in, say, African and CIS markets?
Competition is increasing day by day. Many more Indian players are entering this space. Even now, other manufacturing hubs like Middle East, and those are also expanding into these markets. So competition is increasing, but there is even scope for our products. As I said, there is increasing awareness related to our Indian holistic medicine and products.
So you're saying over the long term, the increase in competition could also be of use to you because the brand of India becomes more familiar to African and CIS customers. Would I be right in saying that?
Yes, you are absolutely right. As more and more awareness is created regarding our traditional knowledge, more and more awareness would be brought regarding to this kind of products, and that would bring in our additional markets for us.
All right. Any surprises which came, like for example, you test a product out, right? Ki saying ye product bikega ya nahi. Any surprises on that front where you thought ki itna nahi bikega and suddenly you saw that there's a lot of
So I would give
growth?
you an example. हमारी एक product है Charm and Glow Radiant Beauty Cream that was designed according to the needs of the Indian customer, to the Indian skin tones and stuff. We tried and test marketed in Africa, and to our surprise, we got a very good response for that.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, let me take this forward to understand how Gujarat as a base helps you. So, I want to understand, what sort of advantages do you get from being based out of Gujarat, and from a future expansion plan perspective, how does basing yourself here help you?
Gujarat has always been our roots. We started from here. The main benefits being in Gujarat is from initial days, it's been a pro-industrial state. यहाँ पे industrial policies, ease of doing business is much easier compared to the other parts of the country. Being positioned in Gujarat, it's easier for exports because proximity to the ports, the cost of logistics and all declines drastically. So those are main benefits of being in Gujarat.
In terms of future expansion plan, how does it position the group then?
We have already expanded out of Gujarat since last 20 years. We expanded, we shifted our manufacturing bases, few of our manufacturing bases from Gujarat to Himachal and Uttarakhand 20 years back, and now we are also expanding into other states like Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra. We have manufacturing facilities in Gurgaon, West Bengal. So we are spreading our
So you are
wings.
actively spreading your wings in India as well.
Yes.
Both you and Love are investors. I believe you have over 200 investments. So I want to understand how you are identifying the right business to be in. We have all seen Shark Tank, so iska ek little version aapke liye hum lekar aaye. So when you are investing, first of all, which companies have you invested in? Is there any theme behind your investment? And how do you identify the right business?
Right. As Lobhai said in the previous questions, like, when the next generation came in, when we came in, there was some digital transformation which took place. So digital transformation along with the investments into startups, investment into companies which can bring forward Barn Labs, which can bring forward not just Barn Labs only, but can bring forward India as a
Achha,
whole.
so that's also the purpose. Ki
That's
it's
the
like we have these startups, maybe they add something to our core group operations, and it benefits both. All right. And in
So-
terms of the benefits they brought to the Barn group, what would you say? If you can give some examples there.
Like, always a startup brings something new, innovation or new ideas, because each and every person has something good to share with someone. So what we believe is we always invest into startups which has something good leadership team, which has some disruptive ideas, and which has got some good market connections, and has proven something well to the society.
Okay.
So that's what
So
we
that,
all
that giving back component is also
is
there
always
in
there.
identifying
Of
this.
course.
All right. And in terms of your 200 investments, are we going to see that list expand as well? Are you looking at more investments to do? And if so, what any particular themes you're interested in?
Of course, it's like a continuous process, right? And it's always evolving. 200 may get 2000 in the next couple of years as well. Who knows? But it's always about who makes India as a role model for the world.
All right. In terms of how Barn Labs innovates, whether it comes to its business or products, what do you think makes Barn Labs different from others?
Barn Labs is all about innovation since last 58 years, and we have innovated through our products into the market. Let me share you some examples of the innovations. Our brand called Signature Perfumes. There have been various perfumes in the market at present also. So हमने क्या किया कि we incorporated a technology called encapsulation. Our scientists did some research for 3 years. And what is the technology all about is the perfume gets encapsulated inside a bubble.
Okay.
So whenever the perfume is sprayed, whenever it touches the skin, then only the bubble gets bursted.
So then the
So,
full perfume is hitting your skin rather than jab you spray and it falls down. Okay.
So it impacts the lasting, the long lasting.
The perfume stays long lasting and therefore
true.
your consumer
And the
is
efficacy
happy.
also increases.
All right.
And another example I can give is you must have heard of facials, right? People go to salons and do facials. Till date, several multinational companies or other Indian companies also had that 2,000 rupee facial, 3,000 rupees facial. What we did is we gave 5-step facial kit for just 50 rupees.
Oh.
So it's all about thinking about the society, thinking about Indian market.
You have to think about the Indian market.
Indian market कि भाई छोटा जो भी कोई आदमी है जिसका इनकम इतना नहीं है, उनको भी फेशियल करना है.
Why separate that market?
Why separate that market? वो कोई एक अलग मार्केट थोड़ी है. So we always think about India as a whole और ऐसी प्रोडक्ट बनाता है कि सब लोग यूज कर सके.
Now moving forward, what excites you the most?
So Gautam, we are into this FMCG and medicine space since long. The sectors now we are focusing and looking forward are renewable energy and sustainable technologies.
Why is that?
I'll just give you an example. We invested in a technology where we co-developed and jointly developed and marketed is emulsified fuel.
Okay.
So that's a very niche technology that we got into, and we are the only patent holder in India.
What are its applications?
This emulsified fuel is a mixture of water and liquid fuel.
Okay.
By this, you reduce the overall cost, you reduce the overall fuel usage, and you reduce and brings in environmental benefits.
So, but again, where is it used? Space-based applications, or
it's used. It has used in industrial application as where furnace oil or any other liquid fuels are used. It's one of the applications. The other applications is marine industry.
Okay.
The third application I would say is transportation, heavy transportation industry,
Okay.
where there is a huge consumption of fuel.
Oh, all right.
And the other technology we are focusing is the nanotechnology.
Okay. What are you doing in nanotech?
In nanotech, we have developed machinery to incorporate nano gases in liquid.
Okay.
So this technology has huge impact on water treatment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's another key issue that we are looking to solve.
We are trying to address it.
All right. Well, we hope for good things both for the company and of course for India. Jay, before we leave, what excites you the most in the way forward? 58 years तो अभी हो गए हैं. आगे जाके what is the most exciting aspect for you?
Right. 58 years into Ayurveda, FMCG, वो तो रहेंगे ही रहेंगे. उसको कोई पीछे छोड़ना नहीं है. उसका तो growth होना पक्का है. But what excites us now is the new generation of technology like the space tech sector or the AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, all those kinds of stuff is really what excites me and the new generation.
All right. He seems to have a more penchant for technology-based applications, and why shouldn't he? At the end of the day, if it makes business smoother, makes the experience for the customer better, and improves the ecosystem overall, why should you not go for technology? Thank you so much, gentlemen, for speaking with us. That was the growth story, evolution story, kuch bhi bol lijiye. But this is a story that's all about business growth, but with lasting impact, so that the company grows, the society grows, and the nation grows. And of course, we have third generation founders of Barn Labs and Barn Group explaining to us how that evolution has worked for the better of the company and of course for the better of India. Thank you so much, gentlemen, and thank you to our viewers for tuning in. Till next time, this is your host Gautam Srinivasan signing off. Have a great day.
CNBC-TV18 presents the Genesis Gujarat